Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel, Meals and Wheels. My name is Darius.
And I'm Cam.
And tonight we're actually going to make you some Maryland style crab cakes and serve with blistered asparagus and Wagyu steak.
All right, let's get into it.
Yep. All right, so let's get started with ingredients for the Maryland style crab cakes. I've got lump crab meat, parsley, mayonnaise, Worcestershire, Grey Poupon, Old Bay seasoning, egg for a binder, and some crushed crackers. So we're going to go ahead and get started by putting in the chopped parsley, 2 eggs, about a half a tablespoon of Grey Poupon, and then I want to give just a light squeeze on this lemon because it's a pretty big lemon, and I've got 1 seed in there, so I'm going to pull that out. And then I also want to put right at 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise in here. And so the mayonnaise is going to help make it a little bit creamy and give it a good texture. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit just to beat up the eggs, get the mayonnaise mixed up with the lemon juice. Most important thing about making crab cakes is add the crab last because you do not want to beat the crab up. You want nice chunks of crab in your Maryland style crab cakes. Okay, so I'm only going to add probably about 3 tablespoons of the crushed crackers. And I'm going to lay my crab meat right inside. And we will break up the crab meat a little bit, but I definitely don't want to smash it up into anything, or to nothing. A little bit of Old Bay on top, just enough to coat the outside of the crab. Then after that, we're just going to sit here and fold it over a little bit, let it absorb the mayonnaise and the egg. What's up, Logan?
Not much. Watching you make some food.
Number one reason why I like Maryland style crab cakes is because it's mostly crab. It's not a bunch of extra breading, peppers and onions and all those add-ins. So I think if you're going to be a seafood lover, eat the real seafood. So finished product, when you look at it, it's still wet, and basically what's going to bind that and firm it up is actually when you put it in the oven and bake it at 450 degrees, and that's going to tighten up the egg in it. So we're going to do about 3-ounce crab cakes, and before I do that, I'll wipe my hands off so I can put a little bit of olive oil on our pan, and basically just enough to coat the pan a little bit. I'm going to rub that in because we don't want the olive oil to burn in the oven while it's baking. All right. And then it's just going to be roughly about a 3-ounce scoop of crab. And you just pile it up right just like that. All right, so next up, one of our side items that are going to be on the plate is actually blistered asparagus. And so the ingredients we're going to use is Mediterranean sea salt, cracked black pepper, onion powder, and roasted garlic with a touch of olive oil. And so just going to give it a light drizzle of olive oil. Doesn't take much for this because you're going to toss the asparagus with a little bit of the seasoning once you sprinkle it on. So just a little bit of salt, maybe 2 turns of the mill. Same thing with the pepper, about 2 turns with the pepper mill. And then a light sprinkle of onion powder and roasted garlic salt. After that, just kind of want to roll it around, make sure you coat seasoning and everything on top of the asparagus, get everything on it so it'll taste great. All right, that's really it for the asparagus. So crab cakes and asparagus are just about ready to go in the oven. The crab cakes take a little longer, so we're going to get ready and pop those in. And probably when they're at the halfway point, we'll go ahead and add the asparagus into this. All right, Chef Cam, will you grab that oven door real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to go in with the crab cakes at 450 degrees. Just going to set those in there, and we want them to get really a nice crust on the outside, kind of light golden brown.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So Darius just got done doing his part of the crab cakes and the asparagus, but I got a nice sweet treat for you today. So this is a piece of New York Strip Wagyu. This is the Snake River Farms once again. This is one of my favorite pieces of Wagyu that I can find that isn't Japanese Kobe. We just got done sous videing this at 130 degrees for about an hour, hour and a half. And so now that we have it out, we're gonna go ahead and season this thing. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some Mediterranean cracked salt on there. Put about 5 or 6 turns. I'm a big fan of salt on my steak. That's what really helps penetrate the meat. Now this is sous vide for a while, but I'm still going to put my preferred amount of salt, you know. Just a couple turns of black pepper. Now, I'm a huge fan of garlic, so I'm gonna put a little bit of roasted garlic on top of my steak. Okay. Flip this bad boy over. Salt. Good pepper on there. Just a little bit of that roasted garlic. Now I know a lot of you that are going to be watching probably haven't tried Wagyu. Is probably because you don't get it in your stores, or it's just something that's not quite accessible to a lot of people. You can get this online. This is one of my favorite pieces of meat, and I highly recommend it. And I tell you guys, you got to give it a try. It's super good. All right, so we're going to go over to the cast iron skillet now. All right, so we're over here at the cast iron. We got it on high heat. We're gonna use high heat today for this. The reason why is we've already sous vide our steak to 130 degrees. So we're gonna make sure we just sear the outside really nice, get a great crust on it, and then we take it off. So let's do this. Just a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Drop that down. So we're gonna leave each side probably about a minute and a half, and then we're gonna flip. All right, so now we're gonna flip this steak over. Very nice. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and throw this rosemary in the pan. We're gonna throw it inside the oil. We're gonna let this get just a little bit of a sear on it before we throw our butter in and start basting. Oh man, that feels fantastic. Give it, you know, solid 30-40 seconds just to get the nice crust on the bottom, and then we'll throw that butter in.
All right, so while Cameron's finishing up the steak, and we'll get back to him in just a minute, we're gonna go ahead and put the blistered asparagus in. I switched the oven to broil on high. That's gonna give us a chance to brown up the crab cakes just a little bit and get the asparagus done quickly. One thing you don't wanna do, asparagus should be a little al dente, shouldn't be limp, and should have lots of crunch and texture to it.
All right, it's time to throw this butter in. I put that rosemary right on top. Now what I'm gonna do is with my cast iron scorching hot, I'm gonna grab something so I don't burn my hand, and you start throwing that butter right over the top. Oh, very nice. We're gonna give it about 30 more seconds of a straight basting, making sure that butter penetrates the meat and you get all that beautiful fat up in there.
That is a sexy steak.
Oh yeah. Throw it back on the heat, make sure you don't leave it off for too long. Alright. Take this baby off. Turn the heat off. Right on the pan.
So one thing that I like about doing a steak like this sous vide is once you do the basting with the butter, you've almost got a light brown butter sauce in here. So you're gonna add a different flavor of the butter to the mushrooms than what you actually have on the steak.
Nice. So now that we got this brown butter sauce right here, we're gonna throw in these portabella mushrooms that we sliced up. Throw them straight in. Now all we're gonna do is get these nice and sautéed, broken down, and we're gonna add some salt and pepper. Now we're gonna throw in one more sprig of rosemary just to add a little bit more aromatic to it. Alright, so my mushrooms are nice and tender. They're feeling real good, so I'm going to go ahead and get my heat off. Go ahead and take these off the heat. We're about to eat.
Gentlemen, I'm going to pull these asparagus and these crab cakes out. So I'm going to start with the crab cakes first. And I'm just going to bring them over to the stove top so they can sit and rest for a minute. What's beautiful about them, you'll see the big chunks of the crab in it. Not a lot of filler. When you pull the crab cake apart, it's going to look like a nice piece of the lump crab. All right, so you hear that sizzle on the asparagus. Still nice and crisp on the inside, but tender on the outside.
All right, everyone, we're gonna go ahead and start plating this beautiful food up. We're gonna take our mushrooms, put a nice bed of them right there. I'm gonna take this gorgeous steak right here, slice through the middle. That view of that right there. Very nice. Gorgeous steak right on top of there like that.
All right, we're gonna roll in with 3 pieces of asparagus, or blistered asparagus, and then I'm gonna grab 1 crab cake. So the Maryland crab cake right along with it. And then the crab cake is always good with just a touch of lemon on top. So just a light squeeze of lemon. Thank you again for watching Meals and Wheels. And just remember to
Share, like, and subscribe. Also, if you have any ideas about what you want us to cook next or anything that you would like to see, go ahead and put it down in the comments. We'll see you next time.
All right,
I'm
let's
digging
dig
in. Let's go.
You got that steak, but I'm digging into that Maryland crab
You
cake.
have fun. I'm a meat man.